Hello, welcome to a Hopeful Holler Makes podcast. I probably wasn't supposed to do that, but I recently washed my hands. A podcast all about the fiber arts, deep thoughts, and Blue October. Generally in that order, but not always. If you're returning, welcome back, and if you are new, welcome. Thank you for joining me. And those that are returning, if you have left me a comment or given me a thumbs up, thank you so much. That is encouraging. I haven't been around much, been moving, been contemplating life and big changes with me personally and now, our entire world. So right now it is March 17th, 2020. And it's day 2 of quarantine of the coronavirus, keeping ourselves and those around us safe from the virus, we hope. So I felt the need to come back to my podcast here, to this little cozy corner, to share some of the things that I really enjoy, some of the things that I've been thinking about, and just have a way to connect. And there's the air conditioner. So this is the 4th take because of various things, my dog, the planes. I've realized nothing's quite like the sheep farm or my friend's place where they have the sheep. So we're just gonna make the best of it. We're gonna carry on as we do, because nothing is perfect. So I don't have any finished objects. I take that back. I have one finished object. Everything else is just random bits and bobs, but I'd like to show you those because if you're like me, you too have random bits and bobs. Sometimes I'll work on something to completion, but as we were going through getting everything ready to move, I had startitis. I had just started lots of different things, and I found some old projects that I really enjoyed that I just never really got back to. So I started those again. So let me show you one of the things that I've gotten the most use out of. Hello. Ooh, I like that tilt. That's kind of cute. We should name her. Comment below if you have a good name for her. This is the Bankhead hat, and I made it with Shetland wool that I spun myself. Basin wool here in Texas is what I used. Her little rim needs to be folded up a bit more. This came out to be, I would say, a light worsted, and it has been a terrific hat, especially because every single day my sweet dog Sadie Grace, she needs an incredibly long walk. So we've been walking for almost a year now. In May it'll be a year. No, June it'll be a year since we've been walking 6 to 8 miles every single day. And I think I said on here before, I never thought I could do such a thing until I absolutely had to. And by had to, I mean, yes, I have a choice. I could not walk her, but she happens to be an extremely high energy dog, and I didn't really know that when I first adopted her. Not really. I didn't know that at all when I adopted her. So I'm the poster child for being prepared for the breed that you adopt. I really wasn't prepared. However, because I've been on the path of wellness and working through autoimmune issues, fibromyalgia, various things like that for a few years now, I knew I could do it. I knew that it wasn't going to be easy, but I knew it would be worth it, and I knew it was what she needed. And so Cesar Millan also is somebody who I've been watching a lot. Some hard feelings about him, his videos from a long time ago, but more recently the videos that I've watched, I feel like many of us at this age have been through so many life humbling things that his words resonated with me more about what he wants to help other humans do and be, and how he wants to help their dogs. So I listened to him a lot, and I liked what he had to say about exercise and discipline and love and affection. And so thank goodness it stopped. He mentioned how the discipline of exercise really came first, and then everything else would just come very easily and naturally. And it's true. I mean, I can't say it enough, I wish you could see her run. One of the highest energy dogs. So what that translates to in a puppy oftentimes are behavioral issues, because we as humans don't know how to work with that. So I myself have been working with my own brain and my own behavioral issues for many years, and one of the things that I know for me is exercise is one of the most important things I can do for myself and my own mental well-being. So that would obviously make sense in an animal as well, especially one with such high energy. So all that to say, the Bankhead hat has come in handy this winter and spring, as it's been quite rainy here, and the natural lanolin within the wool, because I did spin it in the grease on my spinning wheel, and it did not make my spinning wheel greasy. I hear people talk about that a lot, and I've been spinning in the grease, I don't know, 7-8 years, and have never had a problem with it making my spinning wheel greasy. And comment below if that's something you've encountered and how you've worked around that. But for me personally, on my drop spindles, on my supported spindles, as well as my regular spinning wheels, I've never had a problem with that. But it works out fabulous on a hat with that natural lanolin. So again, Basin wool here in Texas, Shetland sheep. It's fabulous. It's not itchy. It's nice and soft, and I love it so much. So that is that. Excuse me. Up close and personal. So I have all my other goodies here. I'm going to continue to work on ways to be a little bit more efficient during the podcast. So one of the other projects that I have is Mermaid of Atlantis by Nora Corbett. So come to find out, she happens to be the designer of Lavender and Lace's daughter. And this isn't a surprise to me when I look at my patterns. I did one Lavender and Lace cross stitch when I was 23 years old as a way to help process miscarriage that we had before our daughter was born. And it was a beautiful pattern, and it's of a angel holding a little girl's hand, and they're kind of flying away, and it has a lot of beautiful depth and shading. And she has always hung over our fireplace as a remembrance of that child and that process, and that really connected me to the benefits of working with my hands and processing emotional things that I was going through. So I began this mermaid almost 5 years ago to the day when my mom passed, and then I just put it down. I started it and I messed it up. I got probably about as far as I am now, and I made a mistake, and then I took it all out because this is on linen, called for linen in the pattern, and I didn't want to waste it because it wasn't real inexpensive. And you know, now a lot of people are using the hand-dyed fabrics, but this is what I got. This is before I knew about all the hand-dyed fabrics. So I'm going to continue it on this, but I've picked it back up and probably in the last couple of weeks I've done from there down. So I've been working on that. It's a beautiful pattern. I don't have the picture, but you could certainly Google, again, Mermaid of Atlantis by Nora Corbett. Beautiful. She has so many other beautiful patterns of lovely ladies, mermaids, witches, just fancy ladies, kind of an Art Nouveau look. I'm really into her, and all of them are very detailed and gorgeous. So here is some knitting. So again, these are all just works in progress. So you may or may not know, I am a teacher for Juju Knits, a local yarn store here in Texas, Fort Worth to be specific. And Julie has a cute little camper named Pearl. And before she opened her brick and mortar shop, Pearl is where she would sell her yarn. And oftentimes I would go out and I would spin in front of Pearl and talk to folks as they would come up and answer questions about spinning wool and invite them to go in to Pearl, the camper, which was so cute. So anyway, Julie had Arkansas Yarn make her this beautiful yarn. And I decided, with everything that's going on right now, I needed some therapy socks. So I'm doing what looks like self-striping, but it's actually two different yarns. So this one is called Binding Community, and this one is called Yarn Heels. Isn't that pretty? It has a slight tinsel, or you know, the shiny stuff. Y'all know the words, the fancy words. Anyway, so I'm just striping, doing about 5 rows, sometimes 4, sometimes 6. And I'm not doing the helix, although I think after tonight I'm going to, because I thought it wouldn't matter, but it kind of does. You can kind of see where it starts looking a little jaggy. A lot of times I just don't really care. But you know, why not take this time to learn something new? And I know that it's not hard. It's just not something I've paid any attention to, really. And I have a sweet friend, a sweet Blue October sister, who made me, if you can see, all these adorable progress keepers. How do y'all do that on the podcast? Well, it's an angel, and it says, "Angels watching over me." So that's super cute. I'm gonna continue to work on that. Maybe by the next episode I'll have those complete. And then here is a cross stitch. I highly recommend, if you don't already know, but I'm sure you do. But oh my goodness, I just poked my finger and it's bleeding. First, Housewives of Cross Stitch. That's what I was gonna say. Dang, that hurt. They have started designing these really adorable patterns. So the mom, Priscilla, makes a chalkboard drawing, and then her daughter now is designing them, I guess, with a computer. I'm not sure how she does it. Magic, maybe. But for the last couple of years, Hands-On Design has been doing that with her, and they've just been making super cute patterns, and I thought I would show you. This is a Hands-On Design in collaboration with, well, I know that it is, but it's Hands-On Design in collaboration with the Housewives of Cross Stitch. And it is so cute. Look at that truck. And the ghosts. Isn't that adorable? So cute. And then it comes with a couple of other little patterns. I was showing this to my daughter and she said, I'm not gonna lie, I want that. And that always makes me happy when my daughter wants something that I can make her. It even has chickens. I think what I'm gonna do, I do love cats, but now that I have Sweet Sadie, I think I'm gonna replace these little cats here, even though that is very Halloween-y, with little dogs. We'll see. I love that it has chickens and goats. And where we live now, we live in apartments, but I take my dog Sadie to White Rock Lake here, and there's a really old neighborhood that was built in the early 1900s, and there are a lot of houses that actually look like that. It's super cute, old, country, eclectic, and anyway, I could just picture it in the wintertime. There's even a ghost story about a lady at the lake out there, but we'll save that for another time. So here is my progress, and I'm not going to take it out of the hoop right now. So sometimes I stitch in hand, meaning do a little sewing method. Other times I have it in a hoop. Sometimes I put it in a Q-snap. Again, it depends on my mood. And I'm just using all DMC floss except for the green. I believe I'm using the called for frog legs in that. And so that has been super fun. And I want to show you, I can't show you the pattern. So let me take this off. For those of you who may be new to cross stitch or coming back to cross stitch, you probably remember these. But all through my cross stitching career, so to speak, I always used one of these. So what you do is you put your pattern on here, and your pattern is made up of grids with various symbols. So you're looking at your pattern and then you're finding that on your fabric and you're counting the squares. So my eyes, for whatever reason, now when I go back and forth, it just seems to be more of a challenge for me to find that spot. So this really is more beneficial now than it probably was even when I was younger. So I highly recommend that. If you've attempted cross stitch and you are a lady of a certain age, such as myself, and you've had problems with that, try one of these magnet boards. I'm sure you can get them on Amazon. I've had mine for forever, and I also have what was my mother's, what she had. So I think I probably have a couple of them, which isn't a bad idea if you have a few patterns and you don't want to take them off. Oh, let me show you this adorable bag. I don't know the maker of the bag, but look at that. I love me some spiders and skulls. I just love it. So then, you know, it has plastic on this side so you can see your project. So that's really lovely. And I got that at my local cross stitch shop, Stitch and Niche in Arlington, Texas. And they do online sales. So I want to share the stores that I enjoy shopping from, so that if you see anything that you might like, you can contact them, or check out your own local needlework shop, because we need to be supporting those folks. So, and there's also Fancy Stitches, and that's also here in Texas, and they are a wonderful, wonderful store, very helpful, very prompt in getting you what you want, what you need, and very helpful as well. So I wanted to show this. Unfortunately, I do not have her tag. I had all my tags ready, and then we moved and I didn't do another podcast. But I just want to show this bag. Look at those lotus and almost looks like peacock dragonflies. And sweet girls. Just thought it was beautiful. So my friend, who is a very sweet and helpful lady, Lynette, many of you may know her if you go to the DFW Fiber Fest. She is on the board. Super helpful, super on it kind of lady, and super talented. She made this. It has a bag on both sides. It also has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pockets on the inside. And I don't know how many of these she still has at Juju Knits, but if you called Julie at Juju Knits, I'm sure she could hook you up. They're fabulous. I love it very much. So what I have in here is my pattern that I'm actually casting on for tonight. I've cast on for this a couple of times, and I'm using hand spun that I spun in the grease, and I got to a certain point, and we know gauge. Gauge is a thing, even with cowls. But it really wasn't just gauge. It was that I had spun and plied. This is Rambouillet from my friend's sheep. I had spun it 2-ply, okay? The pattern is the heart warmer, and you can see it has various cabley things, some lace, but certain things that I would really want to pop, because that lace motif even has a cable. I don't know if you can see it. It goes straight down, and just wasn't popping. It just wasn't looking quite right. So I've taken it all out. My goal was to have this complete by shearing, which I don't know. I mean, who knows what the future holds, but the plan is to do this in early April to shear the sheep, 20 Rambouillet sheep. So I was gonna have this ready for the shepherd of those sheep. Wish me well. I feel like I've got a very late start, but the good thing is it'll still be there. Let's see, what else do we have going on? Oh, this. I have some comfort socks. I cast these on just as everything was starting to go down. We're already at 22 minutes. So these are called the Blueberry Waffle socks. And I don't know about y'all, and I'm not exactly sure why, but some smart person out there can help me understand. But when I turn these inside out, I actually like the way it looks a little bit better. So this is Yarn Carnival, and this is another project or progress keeper that my little friend made me. She's not a little friend, she's a grown lady. She's super kind-hearted. So anyway, I turned them inside out, and I just feel like they have a little bit more texture to them, and I love it. And that's called the Blueberry Waffle pattern. I just did 2x2 rib for about 1 inch. I'm not super patient with my rib at the top of my socks. And I will go ahead and do a regular heel flap gusset. And those will be for me. Because interestingly enough, my husband said that he really likes the Juju socks. Pardon. What else? Then I have the turnabout. So I think I'm gonna get on this probably tonight. This. I think it looks like peanut butter and jelly, actually, I think. In the best of ways, of course. And this is Serenity Fibers. And Mahogany is the designer, and what it is going to be is a cowl. and it'll be kind of like this, like that, only bigger. And a lot of people have finished theirs, and as you can see, I put mine down. The cowl started probably a month and a half ago or so, and then I think I messed up, and then I pulled back, and then squirrels. I started doing something else, but it's so enjoyable. And if you crochet, you know that awesome rhythm of when you're really into a project and you're just going to town, that you've got that rhythm going, and it's so comforting. So that is all the projects that I have, and I have 4 minutes. Yikes. So let me show you this lovely blanket right here. My husband's grandmother crocheted this many years ago, back in the 70s, and I have enjoyed it ever since I saw it. The very first time I saw it. And it stayed at Keith's parents, my husband's parents' house, for a very long time. And then one day my mother-in-law said that we could have it, and it just made me so happy. I mean, is that not living color right there? Doesn't it just make you happy? Happy, happy, happy. So speaking of happy, 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 in these times where you may be looking for entertainment that you've never heard of before, if you haven't already listened to Blue October, may I suggest that you do. They just make me smile. Their latest song is called Oh My My, and it's just a super fun song. They have a documentary coming up called Get Back Up, really about the lead singer and those he loves and those who loved him, and his journey, their journey of his sobriety. And you can follow them, the whole band, on Instagram and keep up with when that's coming out. I find it very encouraging to have my feed full of folks who have faced their own demons, as I have, and continue to overcome, and to live their best life, and to love one another, and to not back down from your own true, authentic self, regardless of what it is you face in the world. Because all we can truly control is our own responses to life and what life throws at us. But we can do it. And I just really enjoy having my Instagram feed full of that sort of inspiration. And what else can I tell you? Oh, you know what? I have a little friend here sitting. Let me show you her. So I made this doll for my daughter, and I made one for her friend when she was a little girl. Okay, this is called a topsy-turvy doll. But wait, flip her over and looky there. She's all ready. Wouldn't it be nice if we could get ready that quick in the morning? Anyway, so she has embroidered face. I love dolls. This fall, I have a sweet friend who's going to teach me really how to make dolls in an old-fashioned European way, and I'm really excited about that. So I've always loved cherries. She just has a cute little old-fashioned cherry print. And then when it's time for bed, voila, she's ready to go night-night. So anyway, I hope y'all are surrounding yourself with all of the comfort and the cozy, and getting through this most interesting time in our world with sincerity, authenticity, love, grace, tears if that's what need be, and your plants and your animals. And hope you're making yourself some good food, nourishing yourselves. Remember, everything's better with wool in a podcast. That looked like I was smoking. So peace. Bye.